All right, we are back for another episode of Love It There. Halle, how are you doing? How's it going?
Good. No new news from me. So, what about you?
Wow, shocking, actually. Well,
What's new with you?
Okay. Nothing's really new. All of Detroit is so excited about the Lions, though. I feel like that's big news. So they had their first playoff win in 32 years. So they're making a little playoff run. They won their second game. We're recording on Monday. So last night they won their second game. So they just have one more game to win and then they're in the Super Bowl. So Detroit is like, if you don't like, Detroit Lions have been awful for so long.
I think most people know that.
Okay, but what I was going to say is if you don't know, though, that the fans of the Detroit Lions, like, they never stopped backing the Lions. And it's so just funny because Halle and I grew up in Indianapolis. I've been a Colts fan my whole life. So when I moved to Detroit, I was like, okay, the Lions are awful. Still going to be cheering for the Colts. But the Lions fans, despite them never even hardly making it into the playoffs, they just are tried and true Lions fans. And so everybody's so excited that the Lions might go to the Super Bowl this year.
Well, have you heard the NFL conspiracy?
I did actually see something literally today about this.
Yeah. So, we're recording this on Monday. So by the time everybody's hearing this on Thursday, it's probably going to be old news. But in case you haven't heard about the conspiracy, basically this Canadian news company I have a picture of like the broadcast, so I'll read you the caption. This news company is giving this like report, and on the bottom of the screen it says Reba McEntire, Usher, and Post Malone are slated to perform at San Francisco 49ers and Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl matchup on February 11th. And this was posted like a few days ago, January 18th on Thursday. So everybody's like, what the heck? Why are they announcing the two teams that are in the Super Bowl when obviously nobody knows
for sure yet
what teams are in the Super Bowl? But then people are starting to talk that the logo colors of the Super Bowl logo for this year are red and purple, the colors of the 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens. And the past two Super Bowls, the logo colors, which are made months in advance of when the teams are determined, were the colors of the two teams in the Super Bowl. So like last year, the logo was green and red for the Eagles and the Chiefs. The year before that, it was orange and yellow, the colors for the Bengals and the LA Rams. So it's like there's this conspiracy going that like somehow
it's predetermined and
it's rigged. Like, yeah.
No, I don't believe that. This is only for the Canadian thing, that was literally probably just they don't know.
They don't even understand.
They messed it up, okay? I don't know where. I don't know. They probably had something ready to go. They had probably every different combination of teams that could have been in the Super Bowl ready to go, and they like aired this too soon or something like that. You know how they have to like they pre-make like Super Bowl champ shirts and stuff, and advertisements and stuff like that, so that they have them ready to go when that time has come. So I feel like the Canadian thing that can be explained that way. This was just like ready to go and somebody aired it too soon or something. I don't know. The logos, isn't it just like the past like couple years that's happened?
Yeah, like 3.
Yeah, but 2 years. So they're pretty basic colors. They're very common. Like how many teams are those colors? I don't know. It's just like I don't buy it.
I don't know.
And
it'll be very freaky if it ends up being the 49ers and the Ravens, though. That's all I will say. I think people are like going to go crazy if that happens.
I don't know. I don't want to talk down about the Lions because I'm hoping that they make it to the Super Bowl, but I could kind of see it. Well, I won't even say anything who I think is going to win the 49ers versus the Lions matchup, but I think the Chiefs will beat the Ravens. They just always pull it out. They always do. So that's my prediction. I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl, but I think they'll be there.
I hope not. Sorry if you're a Chiefs fan.
Halle, do you remember when the Chiefs first were in the Super Bowl and you were like, who's their quarterback, he is cute. And then I just see you over there Googling a picture of Patrick Mahomes. Like, I look over at your phone and it's just
I
full
forgot
screen
about
Patrick
that.
Mahomes' face.
I'm like doing a deep dive. I'm like,
Yeah, you're
damn,
like,
like he's
who
with
is
this
this
high
guy?
school sweetheart. I have no chance.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So I didn't know
Yeah.
that you weren't a Chiefs fan anymore.
Well, that was the first year they were good. And then now it's just like, oh, they're good every year. I'm just like kind of like, I like to see some new faces, some new teams, root for the underdogs. Feel like the 49ers haven't been good in so long. The Ravens are like
the Lions.
honestly always good. Yeah, no, I would root for the Lions.
I'm like, you should definitely be rooting for the Lions. It's your Midwest team.
Yeah.
Sister's home state now. Not home state, but state that she's living in now.
Yeah, state where her home is in.
Right, exactly.
No, yeah. If the Lions were in the Super Bowl, I'd 100% root for the Lions. I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, but I would.
That would be insane if the Lions beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Oh, I'd be so happy.
Well, or the Ravens.
No, I know. But if it was the Chiefs that they beat, that would be amazing. Anyways, let's get into the content for today's episode. We do have a good one for you.
We have a good episode today, everybody. Get ready.
Hallie's been requesting. She's like, we need to do Valencia. We need to do Valencia.
I'm like, when can we do Valencia?
I'm like, we've done so many
Spain. We need to
we need
back
to spread
off.
it out. Yeah.
Like,
so,
no.
Today's the day. So here we go. Hallie's like, Kelsey, don't look at the outline ahead of time. I want you to be surprised by these stories. So I will be. I'm listening.
Hopefully I'm not hyping it up
with you guys.
too much. Hopefully it's going to live up to the hype, but I think it'll be good.
Yeah. Okay. Enough teasing. Let's get into it. Everybody enjoy today's episode on Valencia, Spain. Okay. Hal, what do you want to start out with?
Basically, I'll just give a little rundown of Valencia, what it's known for, in case you have never heard of it. I personally hadn't heard that much about it until I was like actually in Spain. But basically, it's a coastal beach town in Spain. It's on the east coast of Spain. It's super pretty, very like lots of palm trees, like feels very tropical. The architecture is so beautiful and amazing. I loved it. But for some reason, when we were there for literally one night, so like 2 days, and every single thing that could have gone wrong, like literally went wrong when we were there. No. And it was just like one thing after the other that we were like, what is happening? Like, what is going on? It was just like so chaotic. So we get there on a Saturday morning. It's like a 2-hour train ride from Madrid. So we get there like pretty early in the morning. And basically, we just like walked around the downtown during the day because we booked this trip really last minute. And we wanted an Airbnb that was close to the beach so we could just like walk to and from the beach. Mm-hmm. Well, we booked it super last minute. And like the only Airbnb we could find that was like close to the beach, you couldn't check in until 7 p.m. Which should have been a concern. Like we should have been like, that's weird. Why would an Airbnb like 7 p.m.? I've never seen an Airbnb with a check-in that late. Like sometimes it's like 3, but it was like normal. Like I think we had to be out of there by like 11 or maybe even 10.
Yeah. So why do they need 8 hours to clean and prep the Airbnb for the next guests? Okay.
Like,
all right.
Weird.
I'm intrigued.
Anyways, so we can't get into the Airbnb until 7. So we get like a luggage storage place in Valencia so we can just like put our suitcases and bags in it and then we can like walk around and sightsee.
Yeah.
So I booked it ahead of time. I booked this like luggage storage place. We get to the address where it's supposed to be and it's literally an abandoned building.
Oh, geez.
And we're like asking like people walking by, we're like, have you heard of this? Like, this is where we're trying to go. Like, do you know where we're supposed to go? People are telling us like, oh no, like it's down the street. So we walk down the street. It's not down the street. We're like, what is happening? I already paid for this.
Well, don't the train stations have luggage lockers that you can put your stuff in? Why didn't you just do that?
Well, because the train station like wasn't really by the, I don't know. That would have been way smarter. Honestly.
Okay.
So I had like already prepaid for this luggage storage. We can't find it anywhere. We eventually give up and end up just like going to this other random one that we happen to like walk by. So we're like, okay, cool. This one's here. Let's just do it. And long story short, I had to like call the customer service. I get my money back, whatever. That was fine. But that was just like the first thing that happened where we're like thrown off. Yeah, not off to a good start, like whatever. Then we are like walking around all day, admiring like the nice architecture. We went shopping. We went to this brunch place where I got the most amazing avocado toast. It was an entire avocado on the bread. It was like crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And then we just like were people watching, sightseeing, whatever. It was interesting because all the road signs were not in like the normal Spanish. It was basically in Catalan, but I looked it up and the specific dialect is actually called Valencian. But the dialect of Valencian is so similar to Catalan that like most linguists consider it to be like two names for the same dialect, basically.
Okay, but it's not close by because isn't Valencia on the south coast of Spain?
Yeah, it's like
and Barcelona's like
further south. Yeah. They're not close together at all. So it was like we were not expecting it. It was just like really threw us off. So we walked downtown for a while, saw like everything we needed to see. It was really nice. And then we knew we wanted to go to the City of Arts and Sciences, which if you look up Valencia, this is like a big thing that they're known for. It's basically just this like museum, this science museum. And it has like some outdoor activities. It's just like really pretty, really cool. You'll see a picture.
Okay.
But that's like close to the beach. So the downtown is like pretty far away from the beach. And the City of Arts and Sciences is like in between the downtown and the beach.
Gotcha.
So we're walking there. And on our way, we stop at this garden that we had like seen online. It looked really pretty. So we're just like, oh, let's just like stop in here. It's on our way. Like, we'll just walk around. It's called Jardín de Monforte. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's what it's called. So we go into this garden. It was beautiful. Okay. And there's this like wedding party taking pictures there, like bride and groom. Like everybody is dressed so beautifully. Just like, oh, the vibes so pretty, so amazing. So we're like in awe watching them take their pictures. It's so romantic and cute. We like leave to like keep walking around and the wedding party leaves, whatever. We're in the garden and all of a sudden there's like shots being fired.
Oh.
Okay. Yes. Gunshots. So we're like walking around and we're like, holy cow, what is happening? Like so loud, rapid fire gunshots. And my friends that I'm with just like drop to the ground, like on their stomachs, like behind this wall. Like we are like ducking and covering, taking shelter. Like my other friends like literally bolted, like runs through the garden. I'm standing there because there's like fight, flight, freeze. Like I'm frozen. I'm just standing there like, what is happening? It was so
on the
scary.
ground. I'm just picturing
they're literally dropped on the ground.
To the floor.
Tummies on the ground. And then we like turn around, like then we hear people in the background, like also in the garden that are just cracking up at us.
Oh my gosh. Was it literally a car that backfired?
No. They were shooting, the wedding party was shooting off fireworks at 1 p.m.
My gosh.
Why would you shoot off fireworks in broad daylight?
If that's what the bride wants, that's what the bride gets.
It was so bizarre. And it sounded just like
cracking
gunshots.
Up at you guys too.
Oh no. And then like we get up and we're all dying because we're like, we like turn to the people around us that are like, obviously they're like all from Spain, like all from Valencia. And we're like, sorry, like we're from America. Like
those kind of things happen in broad daylight.
Yeah, this like is a normal thing that we like have to be aware of in the US. So when we hear something that sounds like gunshots in a public place, like this is our reaction.
Some of us duck and cover, some of us stand there like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, some of us bolt out of the garden. So we gave everybody such a good laugh. And we like, obviously we were like laughing about it too, but like we literally have like dirt all over us because we're like on the ground.
Oh,
my friend like got these like had these brand new shoes that like she scuffed all up from when she like dropped to the ground. So then like the rest of the trip, like every time she would wear those shoes, we would just like laugh because they had like scuff marks all over them from when we thought we were literally going to get murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was just so funny. We definitely looked so stupid, but
Well, I hope the bride got whatever she was going for with the fireworks, whether it be
yeah.
pictures of
I just will
fireworks in
never
broad
understand
daylight.
that. You couldn't see them. That was the thing. It's like you couldn't tell they were fireworks. The only reason we knew they were fireworks is because like the people told us that were laughing at us. They were like, "Oh, the
Right.
wedding has fireworks." Couldn't even see them. We're like, "Okay, whatever." But yeah. So after that, we left the garden because we were a little traumatized.
Yeah, you're like, it's not so peaceful here anymore.
Had a near-death experience, or so we thought. So then we make our way to the City of Arts and Sciences, and to get there, there's this like park that you can walk through that connects basically downtown Valencia to like the beach area.
Okay,
And it's very big because like I said, the downtown isn't really close to like where the beach is, and this park goes the whole way through. So it's this super nice park. There's like lots of walking paths, trails. It's a place where they have like a lot of like outdoor concerts and like festivals because it's just like a big like open space. So that was nice. We had a fun little walk to the City of Arts and Sciences. And we finally got there. Like, I don't even know how to describe this area because I feel like the pictures just speak for themselves.
The area around the City of Arts and Sciences Museum?
Yeah. It's basically like a science museum. You can go inside. We personally did not because I'm pretty sure you had to buy tickets. But then there's also like an outdoor restaurant and bar. And then there's clear kayaks and clear paddleboards.
Whoa.
So you can just like see through, and the water is like super blue, and it's just like really cool.
So cool.
Yeah. So we just like got there and observed and like walked around a little bit. So definitely a must see if you're in the Valencia area.
Okay, wait. So then whatever happened to the Airbnb? Like, where was your Airbnb in relation to like the museum and stuff like that? Did you have to get back there?
So, well, then we had to like go pick up our luggage. So we ended up like Ubering back to get our luggage, and then we Ubered from like the luggage storage to where our Airbnb was.
Okay.
And where our Airbnb was, we like didn't really do enough research, or like I did look up areas to like stay out of in Valencia, and for some reason I like didn't think that our Airbnb was in the bad area, but it was def in the bad area. People told us to stay out of El Cabanyal, which is like a neighborhood kind of like a little outside of Valencia, and that's like where our Airbnb was. And we like pull up and we were like, oh my gosh, where are we? Like it was not good. So we're like just happy to get into our Airbnb because this was like a 96-degree day. We had been walking around all day. Like we walked really far to get to the City of Arts and Sciences. So we're like exhausted, so hot, so sweaty, like need the shower ASAP. We made like dinner reservations.
Well, I was going to say, this is the same trip. I don't think Halle said. This is when she studied abroad this past summer, and she did a little weekend trip to Valencia. So it was that same summer that it was like the hottest, like setting records for how hot it was in Europe. So that was this same time.
Yeah. So we have like dinner reservations in like a couple hours. So we're like, okay, we need to get in. We need to get like dressed, changed, showered, all cleaned up, whatever. Finally get into our Airbnb, which doesn't have AC, which we knew going into it. I mean, that's like pretty common in Spain. Yeah.
Right.
So there's no AC, but there's literally one fan that's like in the box, like in a cardboard box in the entire house. Unopened. So we like get this fan out of the box, and it literally has to be assembled. So we're like literally building this fan because it's so hot in there. So we assemble the fan, build it, like whatever. We're handymen. We could do it. So we got the fan going, plugged it in, turned it on. We're all like standing in front of it like, oh my God, this feels so good. Then we're like, okay, who wants to shower first? Like whatever. Somebody goes to turn on the shower, and it just drips. Like water just drips out of it.
Oh.
There's no water. There's no running water in this Airbnb. We're like, oh my God, what do we do? So I like am calling the host. I'm like, what is the deal? There's no water in your house.
Right.
He was
These
like,
girls have been on the ground in the gardens. They need to shower
we have
before dinner.
dirt all over us. We are
Yes.
sweaty. Like, it's not a pretty sight.
The one fan is not cutting it.
The one fan that we had to build with our blood, sweat, and tears. Just kidding. It was like literally a 2-step process. But like, we'll pretend like it was really difficult for the dramatics of the story.
Right.
But so the Airbnb host like messages me back. He's like, oh, like, yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you there was an accident that like shut the water off. Like, for some reason the town had to like turn the water off, but it should be back on like within the next like 45 minutes to an hour. We're like, okay, well, we don't really have that much time because we have to get ready for dinner, like, whatever. So we just kind of like wait around and like keep testing the water. An hour goes by, still no water at all. Like, we can't even get like water to fill up our water bottles to drink.
You can't even like flush the toilet.
No, we can't flush the toilet, like nothing. It's bad. Okay. We are literally sitting in a hot box where we have already been sweating all day and we're just sitting there sweating more. Okay. So after an hour goes by, still no water. We're like, okay, we have no choice. Like, we just have to like try to make ourselves look presentable. Yeah. So we all like do a slick back, like every single one of us, because our hair is so bad. So we slick back the ponies. We attempt to like put on nice clothes, even though we just like all feel disgusting. Yeah. And we go to our dinner reservation, which is like in the area that we're staying in. And the restaurant was pretty nice. It was like on the beach. It was good. Okay, good. But you could just tell like the crowd that was like wandering around, like, you know, when it's like, not the best area. Like, you could just tell.
Yeah. Hold your purses a little tighter.
Exactly. So we get to the restaurant and we like walk in. I'm like, hi, like, we have a reservation. The host like looks us up and down, all of us. He was like, where are you ladies from? You're all so big and strong. We were like, oh,
it's the slick back pony.
I know, all of our shoulders looked so broad because our hair was up. And like, we were all like sweaty and musty. He's like, you're all so big and strong. We were like, oh God, not what we needed to know. Maybe we should skip dinner.
Yeah, you're like, thanks. Yeah, we'll take waters to go, please.
Yeah, salads and waters all around. So dinner, though, was fire. Okay, if you don't know, Valencia is known for paella, which I think we definitely talked about it in the Alcala episode.
Yeah, and Barcelona, I think, yeah. I mean, Spain in general is known for paella, so.
But Valencia especially.
Specifically. Is like, because they're right on the coast, so they're right on the coast. It's going to be really good.
Seafood is amazing. Right. And yeah, so if you're in Valencia, definitely get the paella. We've said it before, but it's basically just like rice seafood mixture with a bunch of spices. It's amazing. So another food item that Valencia is known for is Valencia water. I guess not food, it's a drink. It's called Valencia water, or agua de Valencia.
Okay.
And it is made of freshly squeezed orange juice.
Okay. Sparkling
wine or champagne. You can use either one. Vodka and gin. So basically, it's like a supercharged mimosa.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say, or like a French 75, but with orange juice instead of lemon juice, kind of.
Yeah. It was, I mean, it was really good.
Vodka. Okay. Yeah. Wait, that sounds really good, actually.
Yeah. No, it was really good. And just especially everywhere in Europe, like anytime you order orange juice, it's always freshly squeezed.
Right.
Like it's actually good. And it's, you know, you're never getting like fake processed orange juice. Like they don't do that there.
No, that sounds so refreshing.
It was so good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing you sitting on the beach in Spain drinking this agua de Valencia, and that sounds heavenly right now when it was literally sleeting snow rain today. So get me to the beach, honestly.
Yeah, definitely polar opposites, because I'm like thinking back to that and like how hot and like miserable and sweaty and gross we all felt. But I'm like, I honestly would take that any day still over -5 degrees and gray and gloomy.
Again, yeah. Even though Halle's like, everything went wrong on this trip, it's no complaints. She was still happy to have been there, and it just makes her funny stories now. So.
Oh, exactly. Honestly, like, yeah, looking back, everything that like well, you're gonna hear more is gonna go wrong,
Right.
but
Yeah, we're
it's
not
just
done
like
yet.
a few days later, like we all were just like laughing about it, and like, yeah, I don't know, just makes for even better stories. So I think like anytime
Absolutely.
something that goes like for literally any, we're gonna get so inspirational here, okay? That goes
Yeah,
for
get on your soapbox,
so
Hal,
many
get it.
things in life. So many things in life. If you like have an embarrassing experience, like, oh, like horrible first date experience, and you could like go home and like feel so bad about yourself, or you could just like turn it into such a funny story and like go tell all your friends and be like, you'll never believe what just happened. And like, just, I don't know. You just have to like turn it into a good story. It's all about perspective. So like everybody's going to be embarrassed at some point. Like things are going to go wrong in everybody's life, but literally it just adds to the plot. And
also, the thing about embarrassing stories, this is totally veering off topic, but I'm sorry to say, but nobody cares about you and nobody pays as much attention to you as you do. So like,
exactly.
what I mean by that is something that's like so embarrassing to you, someone else watches it happen and they're probably like, yeah, that's happened to me. That was embarrassing when it happened to me, but oh well. And then they literally do not care about you to spend any more of their thoughts on that. So
yeah,
everybody's so self-absorbed, but not in a bad way in that sense, that like, just keep moving on. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
They
it's
don't
just
care.
like yeah, exactly. Things that you think are like so significant or like so mortifying, like so mortifying. Nobody's gonna remember that in like 2 days.
Exactly.
I think about like all the times that I've literally just completely wiped out on campus in front of so many people, like tripped over my own 2 feet, fallen down the stairs, like in the middle of a building. Like so many people have seen me. I could like be embarrassed about it. I'm literally not though, because I get up and I'm like, you know what? I just like, I know that just made someone's day. So like, I'm happy that like
a good laugh. Yeah,
exactly. I'm just here for the good laughs, you know? So once again,
life's too
I feel
short
like that's
to be
I just like don't have
embarrassed.
social anxiety. So I like really don't
do,
care. But that's what I mean though. Like,
anyways,
yeah. Okay. But what was I even saying?
So after
our
your dinner, what happened after that? Did you guys go out, get to experience Valencia nightlife? Okay.
Valencia
How was
nightlife,
it?
fire, so fun. Basically, the club that we went to, it was called the Marina Beach Club. But after we got home from dinner, the water like kind of was on. It was like,
oh my gosh,
more than a drop, but it was barely a trickle. Like it was still so bad. So, and we like still couldn't flush the toilets. Like at least the shower was like kind of working and we could get like a stream of water out of the sink. But so we like all took like the measliest little showers ever just to like kind of rinse off.
Right.
But we still like couldn't, like you couldn't wash your hair. Like there was no way.
Yeah.
And but we
those
just like made it
back
work.
ponies all night
Long. Yep. So yeah, water situation's still bad, but we like get changed a little bit, whatever. Then we walk on the boardwalk. We were like debating. We were like, oh, should we take a taxi? Because this place was like a 30-minute walk away, like maybe even a little longer. But it was like all just like down this beach boardwalk. So it's not like we were going to be walking through like the random streets of like the hood. Like we knew we were going to be on this like public boardwalk where there was like a lot of foot traffic and activity. So we were like, we could walk, we could take a taxi. We decided we were like, well, let's just like walk there because it'll be easier to walk there than like walk back. So we'd rather get like a taxi on the way home. Right. So we decided to walk there down this boardwalk, which was like honestly so fun. Just like a nice little walk on the beach, good vibes.
Good. Yeah.
Except we kind of got like harassed low-key a lot. So that was kind of scary, honestly.
So they liked the big and strong girls.
Apparently. I don't know if I don't know how picky they were. I feel like these men were probably just going after any woman, but yeah. I was glad to be in a big group because it was like low-key scary. Yeah, I know I'm going to get so judged for this. I'm a little scared to bring this up, but
oh gosh,
this boardwalk walk journey was where I had my first cig in Europe.
Wait, I don't think I knew this.
I think I was
from a
afraid
stranger.
To tell you. Oh no, one of my friends had them.
And you're just smoking a cig walking down the boardwalk?
I was like, why not? We're in Valencia on the boardwalk.
Jeez.
So, yeah, that was first time for everything. So that was my first ever cig.
What'd you think?
Not good. I hated it, but
Yeah,
it was just
not
for the
worth-
vibes. When in Europe, you know.
I guess so.
Yeah,
You
I know.
get
I'm
enough
gonna
of
get
the
hate for
cigarette.
that.
No, you won't. You get enough of the cigarette smells, though. I don't need to smoke my own.
Oh, I know. And like literally before going to Europe, I'm like such a hypocrite because I was like the girl that was always like, oh my God, if you smoke like a drunk cig, you're literally disgusting. Like that is so foul. And then I got to Spain and I was literally doing the same thing. So I don't like do it. I don't, it's not like I'm at like the Bloomington bars.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
it's classier when you're doing it in Spain.
And everything's classier when you're in Europe.
Sure.
So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, tell yourself
that. So we eventually get to the club. It was fun. There was honestly like nothing too special about it except for the fact that it started like pouring when we were there. And it was this like outdoor club because it was on the beach.
Oh,
and
dang.
Which honestly was kind of fun. No, I kind of liked it. Like it just like
good.
Added to the experience. I was like, oh, I feel so free. I'm in the rain.
Yeah, perfect.
It was great. And then we leave the club. It's super late at this point. Like, I don't know, maybe 4 a.m. We're trying to find a taxi to get home. And there are none. We cannot find any, like no Ubers, no taxis, like nothing. Everything is taken. We can't get anything. We're like, oh my gosh.
Is it still pouring rain at this point?
No, it stopped raining.
Okay. But y'all are like,
but still we have like
wet.
Yeah, we're drenched and we have like a 30+ minute walk home on the scary boardwalk. Now it's 4 a.m. So I'm like, it's gonna be even scarier. So if it was
cute earlier, it's not that way now.
It's not cute at 4 a.m.
Yeah, and you've already done it, so it's like, okay.
I know, it's not special anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're like, oh my gosh, but we have no choice. We have to make the whole trek far back to our house. Well, we're like walking on the boardwalk and I'm like, you know what? I really want to like walk in the sand. And my friend's like, no, we're not walking in the sand. Like, you're going to get your shoes all dirty. Like, don't do that. It's going to take forever. Like, it's going to slow us down.
Take so long.
And I was like, no, like, I feel like I need to be in the sand right now. My friend's like, Halle, no, don't go into the sand. She's like so annoyed with me.
Wait, this was you that wanted to go in the sand?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that. I thought you said it was one of your friends.
Oh, no, I want to go in the sand, but my friend's like telling me no because obviously it doesn't make sense. Why would we walk in the sand? But I am like adamant. I'm like, no, I'm called to the sand right now. I don't know like what I was doing.
Yeah.
So then she's like ticking me off because she won't let me walk in the sand. So I turn around to everyone. I was like, okay, everyone, here's what we're going to do. We're on the count of 3. We're all going to take our shoes off and run across the sand and into the ocean.
I love that. Okay.
And my friend's like, oh my God. Like, she's like definitely the most sober, just trying to get us home. Right, and I'm like, everybody, we're going to run into the ocean. And she's like, God, please, no. And everybody's like, yeah, let's do it.
So you did it.
So we all like take our shoes off, run across the sand. But then we're like, we're not even close to our house.
Right.
So then we just like take off everything because we're like, we can't be walking home in our wet dresses at least.
Right.
So then we just free for all. We're all in the ocean. It was great. Most liberating experience of my life. Oh yes. It was great. It was great. Yes. Everybody needs to do it at least once.
Oh, for sure.
10 out of 10 experience. Highlight of my trip probably. But then it was bad because we get out and we have to like put our tiny little skin tight dresses on when we're like wet. It was not good.
Sandy.
And sandy. It was not good. And then we still have like a 20-minute walk home. Like, we're not close to being home at all. So then we just have to like keep trudging along now that we're like,
you're like, that idea was
wet.
Not my best.
It was good in my head. And then when I had 20 more minutes of walking to do, I was like, okay, that was just not necessary. But yeah. So then we get home. It was a good night. We sleep soundly. Still no water. It's fine.
Oh my gosh. What is up with the water?
I still to this day never got an explanation from the Airbnb host.
Did you get like refunded or?
No, I'm going to get to that too because that's another story.
All right.
So we are all like sleeping with our one little fan, trying to like stay cool.
Oh my
Whatever.
gosh.
Still, like, just everybody feels gross. We wake up in the morning, little more water situation, little bit more, barely any. But we have to like get out of our Airbnb in the morning. So we put our stuff into like another luggage storage, and we're spending it all day at the beach.
Okay.
So this is our beach day. Valencian beaches, top tier.
Yeah.
So great. It was one
Yeah,
of the
I
only
think-
places in Europe that I went to where like the beach was actually sand.
Right, and not so rocky.
Yeah, because everywhere else was just rocks. Like Barcelona beaches are pretty, but like it hurts. You can't like walk on the sand.
Right.
And same with like in Italy too. A lot of the places along like the
Right.
Italian coast is the same way.
Yeah.
But this was like 200 meters. Probably, I don't know if it was that far. Like at least 100 meters of just like flat sand before you get to the water, which I feel like is so rare because like most places, like especially in the US, I guess I'm just picturing like in Florida beaches where the resorts are all just like lined up right on the beach, and it's just like it like cuts the beach like so short.
Right.
But this was just so much sand, like so it was so pretty.
Yeah.
There were like
so it's
so many beach volleyball courts. The water was literally hot. Like the ocean water was hot. It was
and
like
you were there in July.
Yeah,
Okay.
end of July. Yeah. So it was crazy warm, like almost to the point where you like get in it and you're like, oh, I'm not even like really refreshed.
Yeah.
It was so
that's wild.
warm. But this was a place where we witnessed the people that were sitting in front of us. They like set their stuff down, and we like weren't really paying attention to them. Like they just kind of got there, and there was like a big group of them, and they all went into the water. And then they like come back like 15 minutes later, and this girl starts like screaming on the beach, and we're like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? And she's like asking everybody around her like, did you see anybody come up? Like someone just took all of our stuff, like all of their bags, all their phones, all their passports, all their wallets, like everything was gone.
Oh gosh.
And so
Why
she's
do you
like,
bring your passport to the beach?
well, they were probably like traveling like us, and like if you don't have like somewhere to put your stuff in storage, like I guess they just like brought everything with them to the beach.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So she was like freaking out, and it was just like so hard to watch because it's like, no, like there's no way you're gonna find it. Like that person was gone. And like we felt so bad because like somebody just came up and did it like right in front of us, but like we weren't even paying attention because we didn't know, like,
you don't know
that person's not in their group. Right. Exactly. But I mean, seriously, right in front of us, somebody like all their stuff got stolen, broad daylight in the public. Like it's crazy there. So you just like always have to, I know we've said this before, but always keep an eye out on your stuff. Don't go for a walk on the beach and just like leave your stuff and think it's okay. Like
you can't.
Never.
Yeah.
So then we had like multiple hours at the beach, but then we had to get a train like later. I think our train was at like 7 p.m. or something to get back to Madrid.
Okay.
And we wanted to get dinner. So we like literally take our first shower in 3 days at this like outdoor beach shower.
Oh my gosh.
So we're just like showering in the open air. Like obviously we have our swimsuits on, but like it was like the most glorious and refreshing shower of my life because we felt so gross and disgusting. And we like just put whatever clothes we had on and went to dinner. And my friend was looking up on TikTok like good dinner recommendations in Valencia.
Okay.
And she was like, okay, guys, this is super random, but apparently there's this really good burger place here. They're like really well known for their burgers. And we're like, okay, that is like kind of random. Like we feel weird having a burger. Like that's so American. But she was like, people are like going crazy about this place. We need to go. So we get to this place. It's called 100 Burgers.
Okay.
Best burger of my entire life.
Wow.
I know people are going to be listening and be like, this girl's so dramatic. No, it was so good. I don't even know what was so good about it. The meat was just like, oh, fire.
What kind of like, was there special stuff on it or what made it so good?
I literally just got the classic burger. They had like fancy ones, but it just, I don't know how to describe how good this was because I don't even understand how it tasted so good when it's just like a plain burger. But yeah, we walk into the restaurant before we get seated and we're like, hi, like table for 5, whatever. And the guy's like, oh, do you want the bear? We're like, what's the bear? He pulls out from behind the counter this like giant stuffed teddy bear.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, do you want to sit with the bear?
Oh, that's
we're like,
a little creepy, a little strange.
We were like, sure, okay. So he sits us at a table for 6 and like has the bear sitting in a chair in its own seat.
So that's
it was the weirdest thing ever.
That's
no,
I
don't
something?
think so.
Oh,
like no other table had a bear. It was literally just us. I think he was just like trying to mess with us or something.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It just be like tourists. Yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, we had our burgers, and while we're eating our burgers, we're like talking about, okay, we need to leave at this time to be able to get to our train, just like making sure we stay on track.
Because your train was later that night.
Yeah, it was like in the evening. This is like 4 p.m. Yeah. Our train leaves at like 7 or something.
Yeah. And you have like classes and stuff the next day.
So we have class the next day. One of my friends, while we're eating dinner, gets an email and she's like, oh no. And we're like, what?
Yeah.
She's like, all the trains out of Valencia are canceled to Madrid. And we're like the weather great. No. Nothing, like there weren't any storms. Like what happened? So we're like looking it up on the news. Somebody set fire to the train tunnel between Valencia and Madrid. So there was this like disaster.
Oh my
and
gosh.
They like obviously like the fire department got called in to put out the fire in the tunnel, but then there was so much water that the tunnel was flooded. So like even though the fire was put out, they had to wait for all the water to be drained. So no trains were running. And we're like, oh my gosh, we have nowhere to stay. We have class tomorrow morning. What are we supposed to do? So we go to the train station.
Yeah.
And this place, it was a shit show. Like it was the most overwhelming thing.
No. Yeah, because
there are thousands and thousands of people that are now stranded in Valencia.
Right.
And it's like, you don't realize how much people rely on the trains in Europe. Like it's actually crazy.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, it's not even just like tourists and stuff, like locals that live in Madrid or live inland, they go to the beaches on the weekends. So everybody's this is a Sunday night. Locals are trying to get back so that they can work on Monday. So yeah, that's a big problem.
So basically we're like we get to the train station. There's thousands and thousands of people that are like, it's chaos. Like people are camped out, like sleeping on the ground. There's so many people and no customer service people are anywhere. Like there's nobody at the desks. It's just like, they're literally hiding. Like we could not find anyone.
Like there's nothing.
We tried like calling a phone line. We got put on hold for like over an hour. We're like, okay, this is crazy. Like I guess we just have to find somewhere to stay tonight. So we like randomly booked this like place online that we can find, and it ended up being so bougie and nice, and we were like, what the heck, why did we not just stay here?
An Airbnb?
I don't think it was booked. Oh my gosh, it wasn't booked through Airbnb. It was booked through like Trivago or like some other travel
Expedia
website
or something. Yeah,
but it was so nice, and we were like, wait, this is amazing. Gosh. Why don't we stay here? Are we all like, it had running water and air conditioning.
You could flush your toilet.
It's the little things, you know. It really makes you thankful for the things you take for granted. So we get this hotel or like Airbnb thing. So we find like 8 a.m. train tickets to get back to Madrid. We're like emailing our professors like, sorry, we're stranded in Valencia. Can't leave. Like won't be able to be in class tomorrow. And we go to bed, and then our alarms go off at like 6 a.m. to make the train. We all have notifications saying all trains to Valencia on like this morning or from Valencia are canceled. So we're like, we still can't get out of here. What are we going to do?
Right.
But it's like at this point we have to be out of this Airbnb by like 11 a.m. So we're like, either we got to find something to do. So we end up booking a bus. We get bus tickets.
Okay.
The high-speed trains from Valencia to Madrid take 2 hours. The bus trip was a 5-hour drive. So not ideal at all. And the bus took us to the south side of Madrid. So then after the 5-hour bus trip, we get off the bus and we're like in some random train station in Madrid. So we get it on a train to the north side of Madrid, where we had to get on another bus to get from Madrid to Alcalá. Then we get off the bus, which drops us off in Alcalá, but it was like on the very north side of Alcalá, and where we were staying is on the south side. So then we had to wait for another bus to take us to our dorm. So what was supposed to be literally a 2-hour trip ended up being like 10 hours. Like from the time we left Valencia to the time we arrived at our dorm, it had been like 10 hours.
So what's the deal with, why did somebody set fire to the, did you ever find anything out about that? About why they set fire to the train tunnel?
So we were like trying to look into it, and what someone told us, and I've like since done some research on this, but basically there's this conspiracy theory that somebody purposely set fire to the train tunnel to prevent people from getting back to Valencia, like that were in Madrid for the weekend, getting back to Valencia, because this was the week of the presidential elections in Spain. And so there was this big conspiracy theory that Valencia is like known for voting for the People's Party of Spain, which is the more like conservative party. And there was conspiracy that somebody from the other party like was trying to prevent people from like getting back to vote for like their opposing party. Wow. But then we asked like other people in Alcalá, like, what do you think happened? Like, this is what we heard. And they were like, oh no, like, don't believe that. Like, we don't think that's true. Yeah. So it's definitely a conspiracy. Reason. But it's never been confirmed. Like, they've never like said who did it. So I don't know if they don't know, or if they just like don't release that information.
What a mess. If it was actually just some teenage delinquent that just was like, let me just set fire to this train tunnel, and then it caused this much trouble.
It was crazy. So one story though is that when we were on our last bus to get to our dorm in Alcalá, we're like on this bus, and a bunch of these like teenagers, like they literally look 12 or 13. There's a group of like 6 of them. There's like 3 boys and 3 girls. Okay. They're seriously 12 or 13. They're so young. And we turn around and they're all like macking on this bus, like heavily making out with each other. And yes,
just like paired off,
3 couples all over each other making out, and they're literally 12 on a public bus. And so me and all my friends are literally like not even hiding our astonishment. We're all sitting there like, what is happening? And we're like looking around at all the other adults on the bus who seem to not be bothered at all.
It's different in Europe, Halle. They don't care about
it. It was crazy though. Like they were like children, just like all over each other. And me and all my friends were like, bro, what is happening?
Buses are just so romantic, I guess.
PDA. It's so great. But yeah. So that was Valencia. To wrap up the Airbnb situation, I messaged the guy to ask like, hey, since the water never came back on and we couldn't like use the Airbnb like literally for the reason that we needed somewhere to stay. Like you get an Airbnb so you can have somewhere to like clean up and go to the bathroom and
more than just sleep.
And he messaged back and he was like, actually, I was like messaging you to like let you know that I'm going to charge you a fine because you like didn't take out like all the cans of trash that you were supposed to take out. And I was like, looking, like I looked like back through like the Airbnb instructions, and it was like the tiniest little note, like if you don't take out like all the cans of trash, you will be fined like 30 euros or something. And I was like, okay, I will admit that like, yes, in a normal scenario, I'd be like, okay, fair. I didn't read the instructions all the way. Fine. But I'm like, you're really going to have the audacity to message me and try to charge me when you couldn't even provide us running water? Yes.
Did you say that?
No, I'm not paying this fine. Like, why? Yeah. I could not believe it. And then I never heard from him again.
Well, you probably did automatically get charged because they can just automatically.
No, I didn't. I was like keeping up with it, and they didn't charge me because he knew, like,
Yeah, but you deserved more than
Oh,
just
I know.
not
We
getting
should have
charged
been
that fine. You
refunded
deserved a refund.
completely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. Did you write him a bad
I'm
review?
pretty sure I did, yeah. Because I was fired up.
But overall, Valencia,
love
recommend.
Valencia. It's amazing. Just, I don't even know. Just do your research. We didn't really do our research, and it really came back to bite us.
Well, that's the thing too. When you're like on like a study abroad trip, you're just planning these weekend trips. Like
it's so spontaneous,
basically.
So we got stuck with like whatever was left, and which like wasn't really our fault, but definitely made for some good stories for sure. The chaos was a lot, but
you made it back, and
I'm
you got
just
to skip a day of
thankful
classes.
we didn't get shot, honestly. So
that too, you know, I'm thankful the bride had her fireworks for whatever
her
she
daytime
wanted.
Fireworks.
They got a good laugh out of you. You got pranked with the fireworks during the day and with the teddy bear at your dinner table.
That was so weird. I still am confused.
And maybe it was a prank that you just didn't have water in your Airbnb. Maybe you were on TV. Maybe you were on a Spanish reality or a Spanish TV show.
Let's see how much we can give these American tourists and how long it takes them to cry. Yes, still give Valencia very high reviews because literally everything that went wrong was like fully our fault. Well, besides the train thing, but that was like no one's fault. That wasn't like none of it was Valencia's fault. It was just like
stay in the good area.
The town has so much to offer.
Try to walk home after the bars. That's our Valencia episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. As always, you know what to do. Leave us a great review, unlike the review that Halle left for the Airbnb host. Nice. Hopefully we gave you a better experience in this past hour than Halle had with no running water. Give us 5 stars. Follow us on YouTube. Oh, check out our website. That is now up and running. So if you want all of our Love It There content in one place, it's got our recommendations with links out. So when we recommend restaurants or certain things in the cities, it's linked out to like a Google Maps, like where it's at on Google Maps. And then it's got like our YouTube podcast stuff, travel hacking recommendations. So our information on credit cards that we recommend and other travel resources, our Amazon storefronts there. So all of our little product recommendations are all there for you. So just all kind of condensed in one little spot. So it's convenient for you. So check that out if you haven't already.
Please, please, please keep spreading the word. Tell your friends about Love It There. We have some exciting things planned that are starting to be put into the works, but obviously the more we continue to grow, the easier it will be to fulfill those plans and get the ball rolling. So
tell your friends, let them know that you love this podcast. Next week, we are doing another Q&A episode. So if you liked that, start thinking of your questions so you can put those in. Keep an eye on the Instagram. We'll put a question box there. We'll give another opportunity for anonymous questions too if you want to do it that way.
Perfect. Okay. And with that, go Lions. And we'll see you next Thursday.